You stand at the edge of your own life, looking out at the vast, uncharted horizon of possibility, and yet there's a quiet war raging inside. Not in the world, not in the economy, not in the hands of others. The battlefield where victory or defeat is truly decided exists in the mind, in the furnace of your beliefs, in the soil where your thoughts take root and grow into actions or weeds. History is full of those who conquered nations, amassed fortunes, built empires, and yet, when you strip away their titles, their money, their accolades, you discover something astonishing. Their greatest triumph was first internal. Edison did not invent the light bulb merely by fiddling with filaments. He fought despair. He wrestled failure. He refused the whisper of surrender. Carnegie did not write the story of wealth by counting coins. He mastered the inner ledger of desire, focus, and relentless action. Disney did not build a kingdom of imagination by dreaming alone. He faced ridicule, bankruptcy, and doubt, and in every failure, he trained his mind to see the golden thread of opportunity. If you do not win the game inside your own mind, you will surrender every victory outside of it, no matter how much luck or talent the world gives you. Victory is not given. It is not stumbled upon. It is forged in the silent moments when no one is watching. It is forged in the crucible of your thoughts. If your mind whispers, "I cannot," you will discover 1,000 reasons why you will not. If it shouts, "I will," the universe will bend to meet the determination of your courage. The first principle of mastery, the cornerstone of every empire, is clarity of purpose. You must see not only the mountain you wish to climb, but also the path, the pitfalls, the storms that will try to convince you to turn back. Abraham Lincoln faced crushing political defeat, personal tragedy, the scorn of his peers, and yet he saw the purpose beyond the pain, a nation divided, a people in need of leadership. He saw the vision, and the vision pulled him forward when his body and heart screamed for rest. Your mind is either your prison or your palace. It is the arena in which your life will be decided. And yet so few take the time to understand it, to command it, to shape it into a weapon. Every thought you entertain is a soldier in your army. Every belief you hold is a strategy guiding your march. A mind cluttered with doubt, fear, and hesitation is like an army without discipline, lost, defeated, wandering through the fog of indecision. A mind trained with precision, armed with purpose, fueled by unrelenting desire, becomes unstoppable. Ford did not revolutionize the automobile industry merely with steel and wheels. He revolutionized it with a vision that no factory, no competitor, no economic collapse could shake. The machine was built from clarity of thought, disciplined imagination, and the refusal to let the inner voice of doubt gain power. You too must learn this. Lesson: win the mind and the world will follow. Surrender it and all you build will crumble, regardless of how golden it looks from the outside. Belief is the engine of this inner victory, not wishful thinking, not casual optimism, but belief carved into your consciousness like a monument in stone. Tesla believed in currents unseen. Carnegie believed in wealth unseen. Disney believed in worlds unseen. They believed when the world said no, when doors slammed, when banks refused, when colleagues laughed. And that belief became a gravitational force, pulling circumstances, people, and luck into alignment with the reality they imagined. You cannot borrow this power from others. You must cultivate it, train it, feed it until it becomes unshakable. The human mind is capable of miracles, yes, but only when you recognize that your outer world is a mirror of your inner state. If the mirror is cloudy with fear, indecision, and self-doubt, no victory in the marketplace, no fortune, no recognition will satisfy you, because it will always feel temporary, always fragile, always borrowed. And then comes discipline, the quiet, often invisible heartbeat of triumph. Desire without discipline is like a ship without a rudder, tossed in storms, drifting aimlessly. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom, the freedom to choose your actions, your habits, your thoughts, even when every fiber of your being wants to quit. Lincoln disciplined himself to study, to listen, to persist, even when failure was the only companion he knew. Ford disciplined himself to repeat, refine, and rebuild his ideas when every expert told him to stop. Your ability to impose order on your chaos, to show up when the fire inside is dimmed, to persist when the applause is absent, that is the silent work that separates fleeting luck from lasting greatness. But clarity and belief in discipline alone are not enough. Vision must take root. A vision so vivid it ignites your soul. A vision that consumes your doubts and reshapes your fears. A vision that becomes a gravitational pull stronger than the resistance of the world. Carnegie envisioned a life of abundance not for mere wealth, but for influence, for the capacity to give back. Edison envisioned light not just as a convenience, but as a revolution, a gift to humanity. Your vision must be bigger than your comfort, bigger than your excuses, bigger than the limitations the world insists you accept. Without vision, effort scatters like autumn leaves in the wind. With vision, effort becomes the mighty river carving valleys through mountains of impossibility. Purpose is the compass that turns vision into reality. Without purpose, even the clearest vision can become a mirage, a dream fading with the first storm. Purpose is not a mere goal. It is a fire that burns so brightly inside that failure cannot extinguish it, criticism cannot silence it, and boredom cannot erode it. Walt Disney didn't just create cartoons, he created a world where imagination itself became a currency because he had purpose. He had a reason that transcended profit, recognition, or convenience. Carnegie didn't amass wealth simply to count dollars. He amassed it to empower others, to create libraries, schools, institutions that would outlive him. Your purpose must reach beyond the surface of survival and scratch the marrow of significance. It is purpose that makes the mornings irresistible, the obstacles instructive, the setbacks temporary. Without it, even success tastes hollow. With it, even failure carries meaning, and every fall becomes a step forward. Action is where dreams and purpose collide, producing the sparks that ignite destiny. Desire and belief without action is a candle in the dark, visible but powerless. Edison tested thousands of filaments not because he loved trial and error, but because he understood that action was the language of progress. Lincoln argued, debated, wrote, and lost more elections than he won, because action transforms hope into history. You cannot wait for perfect conditions, perfect timing, or perfect circumstances. Perfection is a lie invented to trap you in indecision. The universe responds to the bold, not the tentative. Action may be messy, uncertain, terrifying even, but it is the only proof to yourself that you are serious about winning the inner game. Every step you take, no matter how small, compounds into a force that sweeps away doubt and builds unstoppable momentum. Resilience is the shield you carry when the storms arrive. It is the armor forged from pain, tempered in the fires of adversity. Ford faced bankruptcy, ridicule, near ruin, but he returned again and again. Because the mind that wins does not break under pressure. The greats do not wait for life to get easier. They get stronger. Resilience is not a trait you are born with. It is a habit you cultivate, a muscle you train with every obstacle faced, every rejection endured, every setback survived. When the world seeks to define you by your failures, resilience whispers, you are not finished. You are only beginning. Each challenge is a mirror, reflecting not weakness but opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, more relentless. Gratitude is the invisible current that carries you forward when ambition alone could stagnate. It is the acknowledgement that every failure is a lesson, every loss a hidden gift, every struggle a sculptor of your character. Tesla was grateful for the night he spent in the laboratory when the world slept, for it brought him closer to the wonders no one else could see. Carnegie expressed gratitude by giving back, understanding that generosity feeds not only the soul of others but your own. Gratitude keeps the mind aligned with abundance, not scarcity. It is the difference between obsession that suffocates and ambition that liberates. When you embrace gratitude, the inner game shifts from scarcity to empowerment, from fear to faith, from weakness to possibility. Adaptability is the secret weapon of the unconquerable mind. The world will change. Markets will crash, rivals will rise, circumstances will betray expectation. But those who bend, who pivot, who see the storm as an ally rather than an enemy, will survive and thrive. Disney adapted when animation failed. Ford adapted when demand shifted. Lincoln adapted when strategy threatened collapse. Adaptability is not surrender. It is intelligence in motion, the ability to keep your eyes fixed on the prize while your methods evolve. Rigidity invites defeat. Flexibility invites victory. The mind that wins learns to dance with chaos, to make allies of uncertainty, to transform obstacles into fuel for creation. Learning is the lifeblood of mastery. Every experience is a teacher. Every failure a syllabus. Every person you meet a library of wisdom. Carnegie read constantly, absorbed knowledge relentlessly, and turned information into action. Edison observed endlessly, experimented endlessly, and turned insight into innovation. You cannot outsource learning. You cannot skip it. You must drink deeply from every source: books, conversations, experiences, mistakes, until your mind becomes a reservoir, an inexhaustible engine of solutions, creativity and foresight. A mind that stops learning stagnates, and stagnation is the silent killer of all ambition. The universe respects the relentless student, the eternal seeker, because in their pursuit, they become unstoppable. And now, having sharpened your mind, fueled it with purpose, disciplined it with action, armored it with resilience, anchored it in gratitude, adapted it with flexibility, and nourished it with learning, you arrive at the point every great life reaches, the moment of truth, when the inner game and the outer world collide. It is here, in this crucible of choice, that you realize the immensity of your power to create, to conquer, to inspire, to transform. The inner game is not a metaphor. It is the engine of your destiny. Lose it and everything outside loses meaning. Win it and every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Every loss a lesson. Every day a canvas to paint your legacy. And so, here you are, standing at the threshold where the inner game meets the outer world. Every choice, every thought, every action from this moment onward carries the weight of your destiny. The mind that masters itself shapes reality. The mind that surrenders, even for a moment, becomes its own jailer. History is not written by the timid, the hesitant, or the fearful. It is written by those who take the fire in their chest and refuse to let it die. Lincoln did not wait for his opponents to relent. He carved a path through the storm of doubt and division. Edison did not wait for inspiration to strike. He struck again and again until the world lit up with his vision. Ford did not wait for permission. He built the assembly lines, reshaped industry, and redefined what was possible. And you, your life, your legacy, your potential cannot wait either. The truth is merciless. If you do not win the battle within, the world will defeat you without. You can accumulate wealth, fame, friends, and influence, but if your mind is enslaved to fear, doubt, indecision, or distraction, all of it crumbles into emptiness. Everything that matters, every achievement worth celebrating, begins and ends with you. The way you think, the way you choose, the way you refuse to quit. Every morning you rise, you are faced with a choice. Surrender to the inertia of comfort, or seize the day, sharpen your mind, and march boldly toward the life you were meant to claim. This is not a philosophy. It is not a suggestion. It is a law. Napoleon Hill understood it, Carnegie lived it, Disney embodied it. And today, in this moment, the same law applies to you. Imagine for a moment a mind unshakable in belief, unstoppable in action, relentless in pursuit, resilient through every storm, grateful for every lesson, adaptable to every change, and hungry for learning every single day. That mind commands reality. That mind transforms obstacles into opportunities, defeats into fuel, fear into courage, and doubt into certainty. That mind knows that no one else can define its limits. That mind is not lucky, not privileged, not chosen. It is disciplined, it is trained, it is forged in the fires of self-mastery. That mind wins the inner game, and when it wins, the world bends to its will, not through chance, but through inevitability. Now hear this clearly, there is no middle ground. You cannot win some of the inner game and hope for complete outer success. You cannot cheat your thoughts, postpone your discipline, or hide from your purpose. Every second spent hesitating, every minute spent distracted, every day surrendered to fear is a day the world moves without you. And the cruel irony is that the same obstacles that terrify you are also the instruments of your liberation, if you have the courage to face them. The same failures that humiliate you today will become the pillars of your triumph tomorrow. The same critics who doubt you will eventually marvel at your unshakable ascent, because they will see not only the results of your work, but the evidence of the mind that refused to yield. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for luck. Do not wait for conditions to be perfect. They will never be perfect. Perfection is a mirage invented to keep you complacent. The greats did not wait, they acted. They believed. They persisted, they adapted, and they never surrendered the inner game. Not for a moment, not for a day, not even when the world tried to convince them it was impossible. Your life is happening now. Your opportunities, your challenges, your victories, your lessons, they are unfolding in real time. You can either step forward and seize them with unrelenting focus and belief, or step back and watch someone else write the story you were meant to live. The choice is yours. So rise, stand, command your mind. Feed it with purpose, discipline it with action, arm it with resilience, fill it with gratitude, sharpen it through learning, and bend it with adaptability. Do this and you will discover a force more powerful than any market crash, more unyielding than any rival, more enduring than any failure. You will discover the truth every legend has known. The world bows to the mind that refuses to surrender. Your victory is not a gift. It is a conquest. And it begins now within you, in the choices you make, in the fire you refuse to let die. The inner game is not a metaphor. It is the life you are living right now. Win it and you will win everything. Lose it and nothing else will matter. The question is simple, but it demands all of you. Will you rise, or will you remain a spectator in your own life? Will you master the war inside or watch it steal every dream you hold? The hour is here. The moment is now. The battlefield is within. And victory, true, unstoppable, life-altering victory, belongs only to those who seize it. If this message has ignited something in you, if you feel that fire stirring, let it grow. Let it drive you every morning, every decision, every action. And if you want more of this kind of relentless, cinematic soul-awakening motivation, subscribe now, because the journey doesn't stop here. The real mastery is just beginning. And together we will rise.